Hey folks, I'm here. So I'm going to talk about crypto in general and also the food shortage that I've been on about. So first of all, let's have a look at Bitcoin and let's go to the weekly chart. So obviously I get a lot of questions about what's happening at the moment in time, but the thing is, the honest answer is I don't know. What Bitcoin is showing here is a pretty symmetrical compression. And with symmetrical compressions, direction is pretty much a 50-50 outcome. You can either have something that does this, or you can have something that does this. Either way, you'll have a Kobo, a kiss off and a bugger off, regardless of which direction it happens in. So looking at this on the weekly chart, I think the real area we have to be aware of, which could very much fall into, is the 30 to 35k level. This is going to be a strong, noisy support area, not necessarily a level. A lot of people tend to think support levels and resistance levels are like thinly sliced lines. They're not. You should draw all of these levels should be drawn with a big fat Mars bar pen. And like, for example, some people could be drawing that. Some people could be drawing that. Some people could be drawing, a mix of these two. And that's what technical analysis is all about. It's people's perception of the market. So really, when you look at all of these levels, it's normally a big fat line. But we do have an area of contention around here. So contrary to some of the stuff that you see on Twitter, I can't see 20k these days. You just have to look at the global monetary supply and see how much the currency supply. I mean, just look at M2. So US M2. US M2? What am I doing? US M2. Fred. Let's type in Fred. This one. And look what it's done since 2018. So 2018 is here. So we have a huge amount of more dollars sloshing around in the economy since 2018, and you have to consider that. Like, for example, a really good example of this is if we look at the S&P 500. So a lot of people, a lot of perma bears out there think, right, the big crash is going to come and happen, which I agree it will. But some people are saying, yeah, it's going to go back to the lows of 2001 or 2000, the subprime mortgage collapse lows. But I can't see that ever happening, simply because if you look at M2, there's so much more currency sloshing. Like here, around sort of let's take the subprime mortgage collapse, there's about $8 trillion of US M2 there. Well, now we're well over 22, or almost 22. So the currency supply has more than doubled since 2008. So you cannot, look at these lows. I doubt we'll ever see those lows again, barring a solar flare or World War III. So yeah, I think if something were to happen, just draw base support lines, stuff like that. So going back to Bitcoin, I can't see 20k being hit. There's so much money being plowed into crypto at the moment that I see 30 to 35, no problem at all. I wouldn't bat an eyelid with that. If anything, I'd like to start acquiring a bit more. I've got a whole bunch of stable coins sat there doing frig all at the moment. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. And also, when we're looking at Glassnode, like, I'm not going to bore you, but there are so many bullish things here. Long story short, pretty much everything on-chain analysis is just crazy bullish at the moment. But the main thing that you can look at is this one. So if you look at the amount of Bitcoin flowing from all exchanges to private wallets or cold wallets, it's literally insane. So on a daily basis, there's roughly 80,000 Bitcoin a day flowing out from exchanges to wallets. I mean, if you can zoom right in here, you'll see. So yesterday, 79,000, 76,000, 88, 86. So roughly 80,000 Bitcoin a day are flowing out of exchanges, which is frankly incredible. It doesn't mean Bitcoin can't pump down a little bit more, because when you're looking at that and then compared to this bad boy, oh, it's changed here. We've lost a chart. They do that sometimes. Yeah, you can see the balance is is falling. It's not all-time lows, obviously, but from where we were around sort of March time, the amount of Bitcoin flowing from exchanges to Bitcoin is getting really, really darn low. So so that's that. Now, obviously, I've been trading up and down. So, for example, if we look in the RT Telegram, this is a private thing for our members. Like, I've been constantly trading. So yeah, it's been good. I think a couple $100,000 profits in the last couple of weeks. It was quite nice. And every single trade I'm texting out real time. For example, ape shorting it, ploppity plop plop. Yeah. Anywho, so either way, whichever way it goes, I really don't care, because I'm just trading it whilst I'm sat in the stables. That's pretty much all I'm doing. About 20% of the pot is in is for derivative trading, and the rest is just sat in stables, just waiting. I don't really want to buy in anything around here. Although it does look like on the weekly chart we could be having a bounce from this level here, seeing this little rejection. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if we had another attack around the sort of 45k, but it doesn't mean it's going to breach. We could easily have this. That's the thing with compressions. You always get the outcome in the last 20% of the apex. We're now just entering the apex. So either way, I'm not leaning in any direction. With others, yeah, there's some sort of channel of some sort, but again, Ether is a bit harder. I drew this circle the other day, and I wouldn't be surprised if this got filled. But yeah, I'm just not going to lean on any direction. In terms of DAOs, so rebasing DAOs, as I said, they're all going to die a horrible death. And even my beloved Ohm, which I had to get out of, is, if we just go to Ohm, I prefer the trading view one. Yeah, so I've got back in Ohm a few times. If we go to the daily chart, but every time it breaches base support, I get out. So I got out here, I got back in again, and then got back out. And so yeah, but now I haven't touched it for a while because it's in free fall, just like everything else. And I think the most recent, the only one that isn't, is Safu, which it will crash and die and burn a horrible death, but at the moment it's just because of the exit clauses, it's just egregious. So far it's doing well, but I'm pretty sure it will crash and burn. Some other friends of mine keep saying, hey, what about Sphere? And I've got a friend that went into Sphere, and I said don't touch it with a barge pole, it will implode. And I think yesterday or the day before it did do a little breach of this, and so this is textbook Kobo here. So base support breached, kissing off to bugger off. But yeah, I didn't get into Sphere, but again, Titano I got out of a couple of weeks ago, I think. I was riding Titano up for a while, and with all these, I'm not playing them much, about 50, 100k, but as soon as base support is breached, you just got to get the hell out and don't get emotionally attached to your bags. So that's DAOs. What else? Oh yes, so food crisis. So as I said not months ago, probably about a month ago, and again in some of my YouTube videos, is that I'm expecting any time, within 6 to 18 months, a huge food crisis. Huge. Because most of the wheat and corn and let's just say food that's delivered to Africa is from Ukraine, same with Europe, etc. And obviously there's a massive shortage right now with food due to the war. And not only that, if we look at oil prices, oil has just gone through the roof. Well, I say through the roof. It's just consistently high at the moment. So that means it's the cost of making food and processing and packaging and transporting it is a lot more expensive now. And there's a lack of food now simply due to the war. And when you can combine that with this, now this is a fascinating chart, and if you have to look at it on the weekly chart, because they only do daily prints, singular daily prints. This is the price of fertilizer. So of course, fertilizer is going to go up in price if oil prices go up. Well, look what's happened. The price of fertilizer is literally soaring on a daily basis, or on a weekly basis, let's say. And so this is going to add to the food shortage issue. And I'm just going to share one more picture if I can find it. Yeah, this also doesn't help. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah, these are a bunch of shipping containers around Shanghai. There seems to be mass congestion around there. So yeah, it's all hunky-dory at the moment. I guess the thing that if you wanted to trade it, you then I don't trade ag. I've never been a good agricultural trader, but you can just look at corn. So if you look at corn futures, the price of corn is rallying as predicted. If you look at wheat futures, wheat is also going up. Pretty much. Look at soya. Soy futures, yeah, everything. So in the UK and most of the developed nations, we're not going to starve to death, but many countries in Africa will starve in a horrible way. In the UK, let's say, it's going to be more of an inconvenience. Suddenly, Tesco or Sainsbury's won't have some foods, or like my wife drinks chai lattes, soya chai lattes in Costa and Starbucks. And recently we've had like loads, pretty much every Starbucks or Costa going, oh no, run out of chai. It'll be stuff like that, and just the prices of your groceries will go up. So it won't really affect us too much, other than, however, when I say that, when you add in all of the extra costs, so if you look at the increased, so a country is no different than a family, and if a family is having to spend more money on transportation, i.e. petrol, diesel, and food, it means they have less money to service their debts and to do fun stuff, etc., like holidays, etc. A government is the same thing. So a government drinks oil like water because it needs it, because it provides all our energy pretty much. So if oil prices are going up, it's tightening our purse strings basically. So this could culminate in some big market crash. But yeah, anyway, it's 12 minutes. I think that's it for now. And I'm just going to wait and see. So long story short, when we're looking at crypto, I'm literally going to stay in stables until we get some clear movement. In the meantime, I'm just going to trade it. So I'm not really losing out on money if the market starts rallying, because I'll be trading that aggressively. But getting into alts and stuff, it's so for example, like a bad move I did was Luna. So I got into Luna around, I think it was 108, somewhere around here. So that's because I've got some like dust around, but that's probably the worst trade I've done in recent times, actually, buying Luna here. But it will recover. So anyway, I hope that makes sense. Chat soon. Toodles.